I took 90 days to find balance in my life, and I captured these moments so hopefully you could be inspired to soul blaze your life. Do you remember playing this game when you were a kid? My sisters and I would have competitions to see who could go the longest without making a mistake. I was pretty good back then, but why does it seem like over time, our memories begin to fade and we can't always remember things the way we used to? Being able to recall and memorize things is the foundation of traditional academic learning. Throughout life, it seems like there's an infinite number of things we have to recall as we find our place in the working world. I used to easily be able to memorize my lines in a script, remember lyrics of songs, and recall details of events. But as I grow older, it seems like it's harder to remember even a simple name of someone I meet for the first time. I heard that we could improve our memory, but I was skeptical until I met memory expert Ron White. He has developed the capacity to memorize and recall a staggering number of details. He's a two-time national memory champion and held a record for the fastest person to memorize a deck of shuffled cards in just 1 minute and 27 seconds. He has even memorized all the names of the fallen soldiers killed in Afghanistan. Ron explained to me the secret of memory and said he could teach me, my daughter, and some friends how to memorize all the presidents of the United States in order in less than an hour. I told him he was crazy, but I never would have believed what happened next. One of my things that I really wanted to work on this year is my memory, because it's slipping.
Right.
I'm like, dang, what do I do about this? It's hard. If you go, hi, my name's Ron, I'll go, oh, what was his name? 5 minutes later. So tell me a little bit about yourself, how you got into this, and what your story is, and maybe help me with my memory.
28 years ago, at the age of 18, I was a telemarketer. I was making cold calls all day long. And I called up this guy one day and I said, hey, can we come over there and clean your chimney? And he said, we don't want our chimney cleaned. We're trying to sell our house. I overcame his objection. And then he ended up offering me a job as a memory expert, working for him. So I quit my job and I went to work for him. But that's such an important part, and why I wanted to start off with that, because I've held the record for the fastest to memorize a deck of cards in the United States. I've held the record for the longest number ever memorized in the United States in 5 minutes, a 167-digit number, and I was the two-time national champion. Now, when you hear those things, you might think, wow, this guy must be born a genius or a Rain Man. No, I learned a system at the age of 18 that I learned from another salesman. I just perfected it, and anybody can improve their memory. If anybody's watching this and they're thinking, I have a terrible memory, my biggest message would be for them, you do not have a bad memory. You might have an untrained memory, but you don't have a bad memory.
So how do you clear your head and be able to do that, and especially to memorize everything you've done from, I think you did Afghan veterans and...
I was in Afghanistan, and when I returned from in the military, and when I returned from Afghanistan to pay tribute to the fallen, I memorized everybody from the U.S. military who died in Afghanistan, and I memorized them in the order of their death. And then I'll write them out on a wall. It takes 11 hours to write it out. It's 2,400 people, 7,000 words. But what are some simple things that everybody can do? Meditation calms you down. Stress is the worst thing for your memory. I think that's a great memory building thing that you're doing. And then there are memory systems that I'd be happy to share, and they can learn those, but it's all about thinking in pictures. When I meet you, I want to think of the Mona Lisa. And then I want to see that Mona Lisa being painted on your face, in your eyes, or on your hair or something, because our mind remembers pictures. So, if you can kind of create pictures, it'll help you remember it. This is what I would encourage you to start doing. Every time you meet somebody, ask yourself, what stands out to me on their face? Is it their eyebrows? Is it their curly hair? Is it their eyes? And then after you focused on that, now you're really paying attention to them, right? Say, hey, can I get your name? She says, my name is Amy. Well, create a picture for the name Amy. For me, it's aiming. I always got a bow and arrow and I'm aiming. But where do I imagine I'm aiming? Her eyebrows, because that's what stands out to me. If her hair stood out to me, I would be aiming that bow and arrow in her hair. And I really try to make it a vivid picture. And then next week when I see her, I don't ask myself what was her name. I ask myself, what stood out to me on her face? Oh, it was her eyebrows. What was I doing to those eyebrows? Oh yeah, I was shooting a bow and arrow. Aiming. People always say, I remember faces, but I can never remember names. It's because you saw the face, you never saw the name. So you got to start seeing the names.
Oh, that's true. I'm a very visual person.
Yeah. I teach little kids all the time how to memorize the 45 presidents of the United States in 60 minutes. And these 7-year-old kids can say it forwards and backwards. How do I do it? For Washington, a washing machine. For Adams, a dam, Adams. For Jefferson, a chef, Jefferson. For Madison, it's medicine. And the 5th president is Monroe. So we did a man in a rowboat. So now you know the first 5 presidents. But that's the process. You visualize what you want to remember. You store it in a location.
So when you're writing a talk, like a TED Talk or an hour speech, you do the same thing? Exactly. How do you do that for each sentence?
You don't do it for each sentence.
How do you do it?
Yes. So it's kind of like if you're doing a TED Talk. If you write it out, you're going to write out the 15 or 20 bullet points that you want to talk about. You're not going to write it out word for word. So number 15 or 20 pieces of furniture in your house as in a path as you walk around. Then take the 15 or 20 ideas that you want to talk about. The first thing you want to talk about is how to manage your time. You put a clock on the first piece of furniture. Then you want to talk about being a good communicator. You imagine a telephone on the next piece of furniture. Then you get up to give your speech, no notes in your hand. You just walk around your house mentally. Guys, I want to talk about, you see a clock over there in your mind. Time management or being a good communicator. So you can use this to give a speech without notes. Kids can remember their homework or just remember your daily tasks. So Lisa has invited me here to LA to her home where I'm going to teach her daughter Ava and her friends, along with a room full of adults, how to memorize the presidents of the United States using this memory system that we talked about of visualizing information. 1991, I walk into this guy's office and I'm like, dude, I want this job so bad. I saw that guy on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson memorizing a deck of cards. Can you teach me how to do this? And he said, Ron, there are 5 things that you need to memorize anything. 5 steps to memorizing anything. Those 5 steps are focus, file, picture, action, review. Focus, file, picture, action, review. Number 1, focus. Students, the best thing you can do to get better grades, I hate to say this, is just pay attention in class. Just focus, right? I know that's Sasha, that's terrible, isn't it? That's the worst news of the day. But you have to be focused in order to remember anything. First key is what? Focus. What's the second key? File. You need a place to store the data. The file cabinet is a physical location. It's some place that you can see. Let's use this room as an example. I want everybody to say, number 1 is the bench. So what's 1? The bench. Number 2 is the elephant. So what's 2? Elephant. Number 3 is the flowers. So what's 3? Flowers.
Ron went on, walking through the room while he associated numbers with objects, from Russian dolls and paintings to a keyboard and a sitar. These associations of images with objects are considered files, part of his focus, file, picture, action, review, memory system.
You got to be focused and you got to have files. So I ask you this question. If you're focused, just say yes. Are you focused?
Yes.
Do you know the 20 files in this room? If you do, just say yes.
Yes.
Now, do not write these down, but I'm going to give you 20 words and you're going to memorize them with me based on everything I've taught you up to this point. Don't panic, Juliet. This is going to go okay. Give me a high five. This is going to go okay. Okay, all right. Okay, we're going to do this. Okay, here we go. There we go. All right. So I'm going to give you 20 pictures, and we're gonna see them as pictures, right? Everybody look over here. We got the washing machine, we got the imaginary clothes we're putting it in. Number 2, what's our number 2 piece of furniture? I want you to see a dam, like a dam on a river. Juliet, come over here for a second for me. I want you to stand right here, maybe a little bit out of the way, but over here, and I want you to pretend like you're swimming in water right there. Gabby, will you come up, stand up for a second? Gabby, come over here, and Gabby is a chef. And she's cooking some food. What's your favorite food, Gabby? Spaghetti, all right. Gabby's standing over here and she is making spaghetti on this. She's a chef. Ava, go over there and stand by that Russian doll. And Ava, you are sick.
So I want you to imagine you're getting your medicine out of that Russian doll. So now you take the medicine. There you go. Keywords medicine. What's the keyword on that one?
This was the action part of Ron's focus, file, picture, action, review memory system. People went around and acted out the associations between the images and what they represented.
Number 6, I want you to see another dam. Keyword is dam. What's right there? Dam. Number 7, what's your file? Cobra. On the Cobra, I want you to imagine we've got a jack underneath that, like a jack. You jack up your car. What's the keyword on the Cobra? Jack. Keyword on the mirror? Dam. Here? On the doll? On the flowers? Here? Dam. And here?
What you did was incredible. Ava stood up and actually got so excited about memorizing and learning, and I think that's the key to learning, is being excited about it and turning it into a game. So what you do is brilliant.
Let's say the first 40 presidents of the United States together. Ava, Sasha, Juliet, Jade, and Gabby. Here we go. What's 1? Washington. 2. Adams. 3. Jefferson. 4. 5. 6. 7. Jackson. 8. Ferguson. There you go, Van Buren. Number 9. Harrison. 10. Tyler. Awesome. 11. Hope. 12. Taylor. 13. Fillmore. Awesome. 14. Pierce. 15. Cannon. 16. Lincoln. Right here. Grant. Hayes. What's on our knees? Car. Carter. Reagan. Hey, Ava, there you go. Good job. All right. And then you got Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump, right? This is how you memorize. You take whatever you want to remember and you visualize it in a spot in a room.
Here's the key takeaway from Ron. Think in pictures. Remember the 5 pillars of recollection: focus, file, picture, action, review. Focus, file, picture, action, review. Visual imagery is a powerful mental device for recollection and association. Memory training is also a great remedy for brain fog and the inability to focus. So check out Ron's website or his book, How to Improve Your Memory in Just 30 Days. In the meantime, if you ever forget my name, just remember this.